Well, it's like we've all seen what I call cancer movies or movies about dying. Look, it happens, and I think that it can stir something within you as a human being to change or to realize, oh God, this is not going to last forever. The movie takes place in a week and a half or 2 weeks. I never wanted it to be a cancer movie. I never wanted it to be a movie where you have to go through that. This is a very specific film about a guy who gets some bad news, and it's like, how is he immediately dealing with it? Like in the days and hours and minutes following, what does he do? And I haven't seen that specifically, I don't think, at least in memory. I'm sure there have been films about that, but I wanted to do my own take on that. So I didn't want it to be a cancer film or a film about dying. Some people say my last film was about death and this is about death, and I would argue with them and say they're actually about living. They're actually the complete opposite. It's about what time we have left and how you make the most of it. And it's really the relationships in your life that are the most important at the end of the day. And that's the journey that Lee goes on, that he needs to tell his loved ones, that he needs to embrace the mistakes that he's made along the way and know that it's not too late. So I wanted to take a different approach to it. The idea of him telling Charlotte, I'm dying, that was the moment I was interested in. Oh, Edna St. Vincent Millay. It came to me really organically. There was a line that I heard in like an NPR piece, and it was, I shall die, but that is all I shall do for death. And it just stuck with me. I was like, that's amazing. Who wrote that? So I Googled it, and it was Edna St. Vincent Millay. And I was already like halfway through writing the script, or maybe more. And I realized that I had already written the line, burn the candle at both ends. And she wrote that. She invented that saying. So I'm like, this person is amazing. So I went back and I read all of her poems, literally, that day, and I found Dirge Without Music. And then it came to me as a great climax to my film. I would have another character read a poem to another character. How exciting. But that poem, I thought, said everything that I could say or show better than me. And I also just wanted a scene in the film that was someone reading, like sharing art with somebody else. I don't think we see that enough in movies. Like, listen, you see it sometimes, like listen to this song or watch this scene or read this or whatever. I wanted that because a lot of my life is spent sharing art and things that I love with people. It's how I connect with people. So I discovered that poem and decided to make it the emotional climax of my film. So thank you. I'm very thankful to Edna St. Vincent Millay. You guys should read her stuff. She's incredible. Oh, good question. I like you, man. He asked how much of me is in the main character. And it's interesting that people keep saying to me, like, you make these movies about older people. What's wrong with you? I don't think anything's wrong with me. I just think I'm interested in people. And it happened to be that I wanted to make a movie about Sam Elliott, and he happens to be 72, so, can't get around that. To me, the idea of legacy is one that I think all artists deal with selfishly. Like, well, how's my work going to be remembered? Kind of thing. And we get real wrapped up in it, like my body of work. And to me, it was sort of a thing where I was like, I asked myself that question, and I think it's selfish, and I think it's sort of stupid at the end of the day. And that what's more important is again, what it's being a good person, loving the people that love you. So I think that's a lot to do with me. My selfishness as an artist and what I do to my loved ones through the process of pursuing this is certainly here. It's sort of like a fear thing of like, will I leave a wake like that? Will I be staring at my daughter one day like, you were never around, man. You were a selfish dude. So to me, I write sort of cautionary tales to myself, almost as therapy. So I'm in this film a lot. People are like, well, how can you relate to a 72-year-old? It's like, well, I don't look at him as a 72-year-old. I look at him as a human being that happens to be in a specific place. If I'd be lucky to be there and, so I talk to myself down the line or I'm looking at, or I'm Lucy looking at my dad. I think we all could have that talk with our dad. So I think there's a lot of me up there. There's a lot of my co-writer, Mark Bash, in there. We work really closely together. So, but I think the artist thing and the industry, obviously, I live in this world of trying to be sort of, justified or whatever in terms of my art. But at the end of the day, it's sort of a losing battle. I think you just got to live your life to the fullest and do what you can. And that's what the movie's about.